Okay, gentlemen, we are
Hey,
live.
what's up, everybody? We did it again. I don't know how we always do it, but somehow Bill managed to figure it out. Here we are. Welcome to another episode of Police Off the Cuff After Hours. My name is Mark DeMeo. With my co-host, my partner in all things law enforcement, Bill Cannon. What's up, Bill?
I can't believe that we got on the air with all this snow out there. I mean, I haven't even been out of my house today. I'm afraid to go out there, because I definitely don't want to. I don't want to shovel. That's for sure.
I know. Listen, all three of us right now, the best advice is hire some young buck to do it, man. It's worth the $50, whatever it is, because we are at an age right now where we could get a heart attack and die.
That's for sure,
I'm
man.
kidding, man. I'm telling you the truth. Our guest tonight is a retired NYPD lieutenant. He's also an acclaimed author of 3 books, Harlem Raiders, Behind the Shield, and one other one. Harlem Raiders is the bestseller there. Horrific crimes New York City faced in the 70s and 80s. Your author, your retired police lieutenant, Peter J. Pranzo. What's up, folks?
There's his book. It's on the screen. Harlem Raiders.
How are you guys? Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. It's an honor and a privilege as always.
You know, you look good, Peter.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, you're holding up good.
Yeah, I was out shoveling snow today.
Yeah.
Believe it or
You're
not,
nuts.
yeah. Moving it around.
Yeah, you did, right? Yeah,
off
you're
the
crazy.
decks
Man.
and stuff like that, and then tomorrow the snowblower, the landscaper will come and do a snow.
Yeah, you know, I went out there a couple of times just to clear the path so I can open my door when I want to leave tomorrow. And it was light snow. It wasn't really that heavy wet snow at first. Now I think it might be changed, but because it rained a little bit here.
Cuomo said to stay off the roads, and then he drove down from Albany.
Oh yeah, is that what he did?
Yeah.
Oh, before we go any further, we have a special announcement. Bill and I have our first sponsor, and we want to read you some copy right now. So here we go. Listen up, guys and gals.
It's on the screen, Mark. I was able to pull it up on the
It's
screen. It's
not.
not. Oh my God.
You got to. Can you click on the particular?
Is it there
thing?
now? Can
No.
you see it? No. Okay.
All
I
right.
don't know what the deal is. Go. Just keep talking.
I see. What I see is everything, like your actual screen of things to pick. You just have to pick which one you want.
Okay.
Can you do
I'll
that?
give it a shot. Yep. I'll give it a shot right now. Nope. Go ahead. Just read the copy. I'll get it up there.
I'd like to start the copy with the so it's not jiggling around.
Can you see it?
Yeah, there it goes.
There it is.
All right, so here we go. You ready? Listen up, guys and gals. We are sponsored by the best hot sauce in the world. Silk City hot sauce is made in small batches with pure ingredients. Locally grown peppers are the foundation of every bottle of Silk City hot sauce. There's several flavors from mild to wild. You got to see the labels. Each sauce features awesome original artwork, which I'll show you in a second. Check out Bobby's Big Chipotle, Aztec Attack, Badass Jew, which I have a feeling that one's the best one because Jews know how to eat. Slurp, Mango Madness, Climate Change, Maple Dragon, Killer Hot, and Ghost Whisperer. Go to Silk City Hot Sauce. That's one word, silkcityhotsauce.com. Enter the coupon code OTC for a 15% discount. But wait, that's not all. They're also going to throw in a free bottle of cherry sriracha. So, Bill, take down that picture, and I just want to show a little bit of this fancy artwork.
You got it, man.
All right, so this is some of the artwork that we're talking about right there. It's actually pretty cool. This one's called Slurp. This is the Killer Hot. Hold on one second.
Oh my God.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
The artwork's really, and they're all.
How can we get one of these in Hillary Clinton's purse?
I know, really, right? That would be a gold mine. But I actually tried them all, and they're awesome. They really are. They're so good. So I'm actually happy that, what the sponsor that decided to get on board with us actually gave us a product that is really, really good. I've tried 3 out of the 5. And I love hot sauce, and this is probably the best that I've ever had. So there you go, silkcityhotsauce.com. Put in your promo code OTC for a 15% discount. All right, now back to the show. What's up, Peter? How are you? Where are you anyway? I forgot where
In
you
the
live.
loft in my beach house here on Long Island.
Oh, okay. What do you buy the water over there?
Yeah, right on the water, right on Cedar Beach and Mount Sinai.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, it's rocking and rolling now. Big waves. It's wild,
Do you take a walk on the beach in the winter a lot or what?
all the time. Just bundle
Yes.
up, wear the gloves, hats.
It's
and you go to
beautiful,
walk.
right?
It's good. Yeah, it's nice. It's all good.
You
But
know,
this time of year, we'll usually take out our warm weather vacations. We go to Aruba, Cayman Islands, go to Florida for a little bit, a week at a time, and it gives us a break. Now with the virus, you can't go anywhere.
I went to Aruba. It was a big pain in the ass, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, why? Oh, now you went, you mean?
Yeah, I went in November. You had to get tested twice before you left, twice before you came back. Well, once before you came back, once after that. The airports were very light, though.
Yeah.
You can navigate the airports very easily. It's just a pain in the ass, like having to take the tests and they're always changing. They flip the script on you, like in the middle of your vacation, you're getting notifications that you got to quarantine for 14 days. You get nervous. Am I going to be allowed in the country again? But while you're there, you actually get a break mentally. But you live on the water anyway, so.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's good, but it's cold here by the water in the winter, so we'd like to get away for that little bit. It gives you that little bit of a break, and then you're ready to go.
why don't you just move down to Florida?
No, I tell you, we like the kids are up here.
Okay, there you
One's
go.
on Long Island, the other was upstate with the families and such. And the old-fashioned thing, you still like the seasons. We like it. As long as they get away for a few weeks at a time, it's just enough.
Yeah,
Did you sign up for the vaccine yet or what?
Yeah, we're supposed to be going to Stony Brook in March.
Okay.
Stony Brook Hospital for the shot.
March?
So, March.
In March? What the hell
March.
is going on?
Yeah, what's not good? Hey, look.
Seriously, man.
I mean,
We've
you
been
should have got it.
going
You
for
should have been
hours.
one of the first ones, man. Your age and your
Oh,
history.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't, listen, no offense, man. I see people that I know my age. I don't know what kind of hookup they got talking about. They just got their second COVID shot. And I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, wait a minute. You're my age right now. No offense. Listen, if you got a hookup, do you. But don't freaking post about it because there's people
Yeah.
out there that are, got 20 years on you, still haven't gotten the freaking shot.
Yeah,
So
I'd be
something's
embarrassed.
amiss. Something's going wrong right now.
Yeah, I'd be embarrassed to say you got the shot now, So I'd rather wait my turn, and that's it,
Pete, we had always thought that they were going to make some exception for 9/11 first responders, that we would get some consideration, and no.
Yeah, what happened is that with the administration the way it is now, that'll never happen.
No.
Things changed, right? The way
Well,
it is.
this guy's getting a beating anyway, Cuomo, because he just came out with this article, and you can deny it up and down all you want, but the truth is, you were in charge when and you made that error of putting COVID patients inside nursing homes, which just sounds it's on the surface it sounds stupid.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a dumb idea.
Yeah, it
And
sounds
yet-
career ending, doesn't it? Sounds like the end of his career.
He'll probably win the next election in a landslide.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, some Republican just put in a notice asking him to step aside today, which is it's just
Politics.
just a show,
Yeah.
No, he's gonna laugh at that, but he definitely, this guy's, on one hand he really thinks he's like a savior. That's the narcissist in him.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's a savior, but the reality is, and nobody could change his opinion, he thinks he really did the right thing.
Yeah. And his father was very liberal. The whole family was, his mother and father and such. But they were straight shooters. They were good people,
I think, yeah, I remember Cuomo, and I always remember him as a good guy.
Yes.
I remember also him running for president. He got freaking, that
Yeah.
turned out to be another catastrophe. But I remember him being a good guy. But at the time, they said that, he'd never win because he's Italian.
Yeah.
Remember that?
times change. Hey, who knows?
You know, they also said the same thing that you know, Kennedy would never win because he was a Catholic. So that like you said, times change. Now it's
Yep.
you know.
And now I heard, who was it, AOC, Congress girl. I heard she's going to run against Schumer for New York for senator.
Oh, good.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, the irony of it all is you still couldn't run as an Italian Catholic right now because you definitely lose because now's not the time to be white and Catholic.
No, you're not gonna get anywhere.
I think we should run on the police off the cuff platform.
Maybe we will one day.
Yes,
There's,
I like that idea.
there seems to be a lot of people running for mayor of this city. We had a Pepitone on the show, and he's running, and he's doing a social media thing out there. I see him posting every day almost. He took my advice, and you know, he's getting his word out there. But also there's a comedian named Stacey Pressman. She's running for mayor. You know, but she posted something that I thought was interesting, and you guys might too. Like every single person who's running for mayor or any office nowadays has to post this thing, a part of their platform. It says police reform. I don't even know what that means, police reform. Yeah. So right off the bat, you're telling me like you got to make something up, like you're going to make the police department better. Like I don't know what needs to be better. People commit crimes.
Yeah.
You want the police to go after them and arrest them.
Well, they ran from defund the police. Get rid of the police, fire the police, no police department, defund the police. So now they've jumped to let's reform the police. That's a little safer spot, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you.
Well, they did just come down with something from the state, a list of reforms, and that if each municipality doesn't adopt it, Cuomo's going to cut the funds coming from the state to that municipality. They should cut his salary.
You know why that's so stupid?
Prohibit him from naming bridges after family members, you know?
And you know why that's so stupid? The idea that you can cut police funding anywhere, especially in high crime areas, is absurd. Because all you're going to do is allowing more crime to happen. And then what are you going to need? More cops.
Yeah.
So it's just absurd. They hate having to need us. They love using us as scapegoats to take their fucking shots. But they also, you know, they can't do without us.
Yep. Yeah, you know, Mark, and I've often said it. I've told you guys my feelings on it. And I was listening to Chief Mike. What the heck was he? He was on
Mike Blake. Mike Blake. Yeah.
Great guy.
Great guy. Fantastic guy.
Cool guy, great reputation. And what he was saying is that, you know, the police departments have to just roll with the situations as they're in front of them. And he was saying that, well, this is not the time for people to join police departments around America, or especially New York. And I agree 100% with him. Take the job. It's a good job. Times are different. When I came on the job in '68, all the World War II veterans were leaving, you know, the police department. And they were saying back then, hey, kid, I'm glad I'm out of here. The job is horrible. Changed. I'm gone. That's 1968. And every few years, the next guys will get out. I'm out of here. You know, it's horrible. You know.
Hey, Pete, were you one of the guys that was advising us to take a pension loan every 6 months?
No, but we all did.
Well, that's because the old timers advised us to.
Yeah, Bill. When you had to pay the bills in the house.
All right. I bought my engagement ring with a pension loan. I wouldn't have my wife. She would have left me for a richer guy if I didn't buy her an engagement ring. No way I could get $2,400 unless I took a pension loan, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, let's give a shout out to the people that are tuning in. I don't know where you're from. Mention that in your chat, please, because right now we're in New York City. We got hit by a massive snowstorm. It's crazy outside. And so I got Mike Cologne, MC Audio. Hello. Nice to see everyone. And congrats on the sponsor, guys. Pass some of that sponsor revenue down to me. Melody McAtee. Hi, Bill. Hi, Mark. Hi, Peter. Thank you for being here. Cheated no more. Cheated no more. That's her screen name. And do more. Okay.
No, cheated no more.
Well,
That
yeah,
is-
that's me. I learned the hard way. Good evening, gentlemen, from Joe Chris, Lake Izzard. Cuomo is a joke. Yeah, he is.
You know,
Hi.
and Rachella's in the next room shouting out to us. She could just go behind Pete and make some obscene gestures, you know, if she wanted to.
Ryan Investigative Group. They will miss us when we're gone. Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Andy Torres, Albuquerque, New Mexico. How's the weather in Albuquerque right now, Andy Torres?
And Cheated No More is from La Crescenta, California. Man, God bless you guys, man, who tune in. Andy Torres from Albuquerque, New Mexico. God bless you for and Lake Lizard, St. Louis. I'm here from Duty Ron's channel. We always give a shout out to Duty Ron because he definitely hooked us up with a lot of his listeners. It's rare that you meet really good people, man. That guy's a great guy, man.
Yeah, Duty Ron's been hooking us up. His fans have been coming to watch us. Talking about that, you know, this is Peter Pranzo's second time on our show. And he's sort of from a different era. He was back in like the 70s, the 80s, but he paid his dues. He was in the 3-2. Was it the Gambino crime family put a hit on you because you were hurting the drug trade there?
Yeah.
What happened? Tell us about that again.
Yeah, well, you know what happened is that we had the Harlem Raiders, which the book was about, and we had a diverse narcotics team, and we went out and we wound up from low crime type of arrests, minor crimes, all the way up to heavy duty arrests, and we wound up making 8,000 arrests. That was in 1 square mile in the 32nd Precinct, Central Harlem, and that was the focus point for heroin selling in America was Harlem. And what happened was the Mafia, there was a few crime families, and Gambino put up all the money to all the other crime families. And we were hurting them. It was a multi-million-dollar operation. And by taking all the people off the street, all the Harlemite drug dealers and all the buyers from out of state, we knocked out their trade a lot. And so he put up the money, and it was an open contract, and it was for anybody to take me, the family, and to take the community leader, Rita Webb Smith. They wanted her dead because she was working with us, you know. And so it was just an open contract, and we got that from the intelligence unit from the NYPD, sent me all the paperwork, come flying up from downtown and gave everything and what was it about, and they protection for the family, that whole situation, you know, the radio home and all that stuff. But and that's pretty much it. But here I am. I survived.
How long did that last?
Open contract until I left the precinct, right through. Right.
So it was a couple of years.
Oh, it lasted a few years. Yeah, until 1984. Yeah.
Wow.
1984, and they used to call me up all the time from the intelligence that people were, you know, what they were saying. You know, they had all the informants around. The intel, I have to tell you, NYPD, as far as letting you know, was very good. And they asked, "Do you want to take some time off?" You know, I couldn't. I needed the overtime. I couldn't leave my team behind, you know. So I said, if you wanted to take time off and that kind of a thing, change of assignment, and of course, you know, you don't back down. We hit them harder, you know.
Did you tell your wife about this? How did that?
She knew everything. Yeah, they used to call, and they call her up, the desk officer, and tell when Pete walks in the door, have him call the desk, you know. So she knew everything, and
just to make sure that you got home okay.
Well, you got home, you know. So it was at the time it was pretty serious, you know, and but you took it with a grain of salt, you know. When you're in that work mode, you know, you find yourself you're doing things. It's where you were dropped in that part of your life, and you just do it. You suffer through it, and you do your job.
Yeah, it's not coming up, Bill.
It's not. Oh, because there's a picture of Pete at Medal Day receiving the Medal of Valor, and he has those gross mutton chops.
Some of the pictures come up.
Some of them coming up. Some of them aren't. Okay.
So
I wanted to share
this idea that, you know, whenever, because there's a couple of you know, mobsters now that have podcasts as well. Sammy the Bull has a podcast. Michael Franchese has a podcast. Who knows? And they got all these other mobsters. And this idea that, if they were just being a cop, you know what I'm saying? That was their job. And, this was our job. And, if you got caught, you got caught, But it's bullshit because you were hitting them hard. And all of a sudden, they're putting contracts out on cops' lives.
Yeah. Yeah. That sort of changed because years back, they didn't want the attention on them. So they laid in the background. They didn't involve themselves with the police whatsoever. All they did was supply the money. They supplied the money to bring the raw heroin, the opiate from the poppy fields of Turkey back in that day. That was the big farm country where they used to bring to cut the farmers. They had cut the opiate plants, the poppy plants, and then ship them down over to by boat over to Palermo, Sicily, and up into labs, and they would refine it in the labs in Sicily, up in the hills, put them on the olive boats, in the Keys, 2-pound packages, and then put them on the olive boats and send them to the Fulton Fish Market. And then from there, they'd send it to the Bronx. And then in the Bronx, they had hundreds of Puerto Ricans up there, women, children, they were all cutting up all the heroin, straight heroin, no fentanyl back then, no mixing, just the lactose. And they put it in diamond quarter bags, glassines, little stamp type envelopes. From there, they'd bring them over to Harlem early in the morning and sell them on the streets of Harlem. And it was a multi-million-dollar, hundreds of millions of dollars operation,
Let me ask you a question because, we were going through an opioid epidemic here in the States, and it's kind of taken a back seat to the pandemic.
Yeah.
But, if you go through a lot of towns, not really so much the urban towns like the city where people are moving, hustling and bustling, but you get a little bit upstate and you go to other, I know there's a big, my girlfriend tells me there was a big problem in Massachusetts where you go to certain towns and everybody's hooked on these opioids, right? And back then though, because when people are hooked on the opioids, you could tell they have a certain way about them. The same way back then in the 70s, I would only imagine that, when everybody's hooked on heroin, it's an odd thing to see so many people just walking around and kind of sort of nodding out everywhere.
Yeah. That's the TV movie. What's the TV movie with the dead people walking?
Zombies.
Zombies. Dead.
What's
The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah, The Walking Dead, right.
It's a good show.
I remember when I first came on the job, I would go up Manhattan Avenue into the 2-8, and you'd see these people with the elephantitis legs.
The ulcers, yeah.
Right, yeah, because the legs blew up from getting
Blew up.
infected from chewing heroin into their legs, right?
Yeah, and a lot of those guys were veterans, Korea War veterans. I had a lot of them in the shooting galleries, and they would carry around their medals in their pocket.
Oh my God.
The star and
Usually, though, if your legs blew up like that, you would get gangrene and you'd wind up losing your leg, right?
Yeah, you were done.
Yeah.
That was the end of it there. Within a few months later, 6 months, it depends. You'd find people dead all over the shooting galleries,
Yeah.
What happened is that they spread it from Harlem. Their plan was to move it outside of Harlem. So people used to go to Harlem to buy the
score.
drugs. Yeah, to buy, to score. And then they could beat it down and mix it again and take it to the outside communities. But then their idea was, hey, look, let's bring the heroin outside the community. But with the DEA and everything else, it sort of put a kibosh on the heroin train. And then it went to cocaine, the crack epidemic, and all that other nonsense. And now it's back because it's coming from Mexico.
You're right. Let me tell you something. It is back. I go to Washington Heights periodically to visit my grandmother. God bless her. She's still alive. She's like 96 years old. She's been in that same apartment, for probably 60 years right now, 55 years at least, right there on 180th and Broadway. And the funny thing is it's back. I walked around the corner to go get something from the store for my grandmother. And it was early evening. And as soon as I walked around the corner, I saw this guy. And you could just tell he just got out of prison, because he was all like Bill always says, cock diesel. And he was grilling. This guy was grilling everybody, you know what I'm saying, that was walking past him, like this. And, I'm 6'4". If somebody grills me, we're probably going to have a problem. So as soon as I came around the corner and I saw this guy there, just like walking up to people, grilling him, like he's a menace right now, right? And I'm like, oh, this is definitely going to be a situation right now. So I'm getting myself mentally ready. I got my hands out. I got him in front of my face. And then as soon as I am approaching him, the guy kind of sort of nods out, like he goes into his junkie league.
Yeah.
And then I said, oh my God, thank God he's a junkie. So then I went into the store. I got the supermarket. I got everything I needed. And now I'm on my way out and he's back to grilling everybody again because he came out of his like stupor a little bit. So I was like, oh, fuck, I got to wait him out. So another lady was going to go out. I said, no, just wait. He's going to be fine. And then like a minute passed and then he went back into his super and then we walked out and we just went about our way. But
We used to call that the methadone bop. You know, they would just do,
That's right.
their head would come 2 inches from scraping the ground, but they never touch the ground, you know?
That's correct.
Yeah, they get into it, but it lasts like a minute or two, and then they get back to wherever they were. Like they wake up to reality and they come back, and so I just happen to wait him out. And I know what's gonna happen here. He's gonna go back into his bop, and then we'll walk out, and that's exactly what happened. In the middle of this whole thing, we just walked out.
You know, Pete, I remember we had a homicide in the 2-3, and this guy just got out of prison, and he was like all jacked up, like he was scary looking, you know.
Yeah.
And he goes over to this 19-year-old kid and goes, "I don't know if you know who I am, but this used to be my spot before I went away, and I'm taking it back." You know what the kid did? He pulled out a 9 and shot him dead.
That's right.
No, I don't think this spot is your spot. Chased him across the projects, fired about 10 shots at him. The guy died on his front doorstep.
Oh God.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
he didn't get his spot back.
what happened was, and so all that to get all the heroin from one spot to another, and over to Sicily, and then to New York City, and to sell it for $10 for a bag of heroin on the street, right? Okay. Now it comes from Mexico, and my understanding now, you get a hit of heroin, a glassine for $3, $4, $5. It's the same price as marijuana. You got to be kidding me, right? So that's the problem today, and it's in all neighborhoods. You know, heroin now is everywhere, so that's the difference. You know, that it's everywhere and it's cheap. No longer, $10 years ago, you had to rob and beat people and whatever you had to do.
Yeah, well, heroin created a bigger crime problem, I think, than crack initially, right? But then crack, I think, because the high was so short, that people would smoke it up and then they had to get high again. They had to do a robbery or break into a car, break into a house, do all kinds of things like that.
Yeah, you know what happened, Bill? It was so lucrative, the selling end of it. They used to kill each other every day. You had bodies all over the place. And what it is, well, they were fighting over territory. Somebody would take a bag and beat it down, jump in the hallway, and sell it there, right? It wasn't his territory, a young kid or something, and they'd kill him, boom, done. And the homicide rate, how high it was back then. And, hundreds of bodies all over the place. They shoot each other up. And that
Pete, Washington Heights became like the home invasion capital of the world.
Yeah.
And for most people that aren't from New York City back in the 90s and the 2000s, the home invasions weren't burglaries. What they were is they thought they were going into a drug apartment and it was to do a rip. And then they operated, some of these guys would rappel from the rooftop and they had radios. They were very sophisticated.
Yeah.
And then they used to have someone they called a Nancy Knocker. And this was a little young woman who looked very unthreatening. She would knock on the door and they'd open it, and then the team would go in there like emergency service, except it was a reverse emergency service. It was the drug dealer emergency service. And then sometimes they would torture the people in the apartment because they wouldn't give up where the drugs or the money was. And frequently they would hit the wrong apartment and torture innocent people.
Yeah. Similar to what we did. We hit the wrong apartment sometimes. Too.
Yeah, that happened. Yep.
Back in the day, you get away with it easier than today, Yeah.
Well, I think, one of the things I had to go reinvestigate this. A woman, her last name was Spruill, and the 2-5 snoot team with emergency service threw a flashbang into the wrong apartment, and she died of a heart attack. Alberta Spruill was her name. And when they brought the CI up, and they said, which apartment was it? He was doing like one of these, He didn't know. This guy was unswearable, but he picked the wrong apartment. ESU threw a flashbang into the wrong apartment. She died of a heart attack. Horrible, you know?
Yeah. You know what happened? It was easier for us only because to what they're dealing with today it's a whole different thing, you know. But it was easier for us because where most of the drug dens were, where they were using the drugs, selling the drugs, and all that, were abandoned buildings, and they were city-owned buildings.
Right.
So we could just sledgehammer them, you know, take the doors off, go in, clean them out, take everybody, and it was all good, you know. So you knew who you had, you know. And then on the street was a little bit more difficult, you know, doing the sweeps, which we could do back then, the sweeps, because it was considered we work with the district attorney's office and had the paperwork in line with
Right. Those trespass affidavit buildings, right?
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And narcotic prone locations. So
Sure.
that gave us the right to do the sweeps. They didn't like them, but the community liked them, you know, and we were careful and we warned everybody, believe it or not, you know, after you start taking the people over and over again, everybody knew that's it. They were gone. So you hit the block a couple of times and you go on the next time, hey, where's there's nobody out, you know, because they knew that they were going to get picked up and taken. And then, of course, even if it was only trespass and disorderly conduct, the summonses at the narcotic prone locations for a lot of them and misdemeanor possessions and such, nobody showed up in court.
Right.
Well, now you got warrants on thousands.
That's where Mark came in. Mark was in warrants. He had to pick
I know,
these guys
Mark.
up.
Yeah,
No,
it was
but
like,
you're talking about a whole chain of investigative and police work that's not being done right now. And
Right.
so those problems won't go away. That's for sure. Not under this this current administration. She did no more said had to escape from a boyfriend who got addicted to crack, scary as hell, became violent. Phil D, Larry Davis,
yes, I remember
most
Larry
of his
Davis.
stick-ups in the 3-4. And we had who was it? Rick Martinez on the show.
Yes. Yeah.
That was actually involved in the attempt to apprehend Larry Davis.
He actually shot it out with Larry Davis. He saved a few ESU cops' lives by banging out with him, you know.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you should check that episode out. We had Rick Martinez. He was an ESU police officer at the time, and he was at the scene when they went to apprehend Larry Davis initially, and the shootout that followed. He talks about it. Paula Fernandez, hello, Bill. Hats off to you for continuing to serve and protect, even in retirement. I am now subscribed to you and Duty Ron, too amazing. Oh, that's good. What am I, chopped liver, Paula? Come on, Paula. Hi there. I am from Washington Heights, girl. Maritza Diaz. Yeah, go. Yeah, my grandmother's on. I bump into you, Maritza. My grandmother's on 180th and Broadway. And like I said, you rent an apartment to somebody. You think, how long could they be there? She's been there for almost 60 years. I think she's paying 3 1/4 now. They raised it.
No one ever used to leave those apartments, especially if they were rent controlled.
Don't. I've been there. I grew up my whole life in that apartment. 2 amazing channels off the cuff and Duty Ron. That is for sure. Duty Ron has a great show as well. Only getting worse. OG Bosgal. So
Hey, OG, is that original gangster? Is that what the OG is part of that?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Original gangster Bosgal.
That Duty Ron is a loyal guy. He's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
Got a
Yeah,
good
excellent
show,
guy.
and he's a real loyal to the job, you know, to the to law enforcement. You know?
Absolutely, 100%. Just
Yeah.
like you are, Pete.
Oh yeah, you know, yeah. I mean,
No,
Pete,
he
when
was-
you first retired, because you did 21 years, right?
Yep.
What did you do when you first retired?
I was writing like 10 years before I retired, so I just
Okay.
continued writing articles, and then and I wrote the books, of course.
But you never punched a clock job after you
no,
retired from the
I would
police
never-
department.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, I would have stayed on the job, but I got hurt. You know, my leg was screwed up. But I took the retirement, and then I started writing books and such, and it worked out good. It's fine. Rochelle always ran a small business, online business, you know, for police promotional stuff, and for jobs, civil service jobs, and that. And so she did that, and I wrote a little bit, and she wrote as well. You know, she co-authored the other 2 books, Behind the Shield, and she co-authored Stress Management.
Yeah, you know, it's really nice that you guys did it together. And how does that work? You yell out, "What's another word for continue?" And then she yells out, "Go
No,
on."
It's
And then you're
wild.
like, No, you're like, what's another word for go on? And she's like, continue. All right, that's a good word.
It's wild. I can only tell you, it's wild, side by side. And she's a saint to put up with me, of course. And I can't type. You guys can type,
Uh-huh.
when you on a job. But most of the old guys, the old cops, most of us couldn't type because you used to go up, make your collars when you were young, and then take your arrest upstairs to the squad. And the detectives would do all the backing of the prints and the type and stuff like that. So a lot of the old guys really couldn't type, back
You
in
know
my
what?
day.
I always thought that they should have a competition within the NYPD of who was the fastest one finger typer.
Oh yeah.
Because when you looked at people typing, nobody who's on the NYPD ever paid attention in typing class. But you see a whole bunch of dudes like this, just with these two fingers, and they're going really fast, but just with two fingers.
Yep. Yep.
Hey,
Exactly.
Duty Ron, thank you so much for that $10 super chat. We were calling out to you before. Thank you so much. You're helping out us get a bigger audience. We actually switched over 2 months ago from Facebook, where we wasted our time for like 2 years. Actually, it wasn't a waste of time, but now we're on YouTube where we can actually build up a better fan base and actually make a little bit of money. So thank you so much, Duty Ron, for helping us out.
Paula Fernandez says, all the amazing men and women in blue, may you be the tools and the investigative hands of God and continue to serve and protect. That's very nice of you, Paula. Thank you so much for that. Drunk, not I am. In my 3 weeks on the job and the tiredness is setting in. I'm in my 3 weeks on the job. So drunk, not I am is sounds like he's doing a good job.
If he's tired after 3 weeks, he better leave now.
Where do you work, you drunk, not I am? And are you really new to the job? And you know what? Anybody who would take the job right now should fail the psych automatically. Really, like if you're still going through like the whole evaluation thing and you get to the psych and they're like, the first question would be like, why? Why would you want this job right now? They're throwing stuff at you. They're calling you a piece of shit right to your face. You got 4 years of college. Why would you want this job? Go do anything else.
I was telling Bill before, and I mentioned Chief Blake, Mike Blake, good guy, and I sort of, not to go against you, Mark, but I sort of side with him on that. If I had to go start all over again today, I'd take the job again. I'd take the job. There were so many bad things that were happening years back when I was young. The Black Liberation Army was killing guys. We had no bulletproof vests. We went on strike. We had the NAP commission. People hated us. We had the anti-war, anti-this, anti-police. So it was bad. But you know what? You did the best you can. Chin up, march ahead.
No, listen, I agree with you. I would have still taken a job because if I was anything like the way I was as a teenager, this was probably all I could do. But what I'm saying to you isn't it funny that anybody who would take the job right now, you really have to look at him and go, are you nuts? Do you see the news? Are you not getting the news?
Yeah, I guess, it's for the guys who are starting out, it's still a thrill. They're still proud to be NYPD because I tell you, look at you guys, the success that you guys have now. I'd say 75% of all the guys who leave the NYPD do something connected with law enforcement. They open up their private detective agencies. They do shows or whatever, whether it's acting or something like that, and they all do very well because of coming from law enforcement. So
Pete, did you see the show we did with retired Captain Joe Lisi?
Oh, he's the best.
What a superstar, right? That guy is the most successful actor of any NYPD cop ever, I think. This kid, Michael Devine, who we're going to have on this Thursday, he's got a pretty damn big resume, too.
Yeah. He might actually, have a bigger resume.
He'll probably beat Joe Lisi by the time Joe Lisi's 70 years old now.
It's amazing how many phenomenal people have come off the job.
Yeah.
And we've had so many guests that are doing incredible things, after the job.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I agree with you. I'm just making a joke,
I know.
and
Okay.
you know what I'm
I know.
saying, and you know, because right now, but listen, when I came on in '92, right, there was the peak of the crack epidemic. You could have said the same thing to me. What the hell's the matter with you? Don't you see what's going on outside?
Yeah.
There's shootings everywhere. There's crack everywhere. People getting killed, and I still took the job. So
Yeah, that's exactly right. And let me tell you, years ago, we really had no choice. I was a plumber, I was a construction worker, so I was killing myself, every day. I said, I can't do this for 50 years, and so
You know,
so
Pete, it's funny.
yeah,
People always say, "Oh, plumber, great job." You ever see some of the nasty shit a
no,
plumber has to do? I wouldn't want to be doing that for nothing.
no. I carried pipe, I carried tubs, I
Yeah,
was an apprentice. I killed myself, and then when
exactly.
I
Everyone
told
every
my
says, "Oh,
pop,
plumbers getting big money." Yeah, well, go ahead,
no,
do what they do.
no. I
listen,
told my pop, I said, Pop, I can't do this for 50 years. I'm going to take the police test. And he told me, he says, yeah, but they're going to shoot at you. I says, I don't care. I don't care to shoot. I can't carry tubs
I'd
anymore.
rather get shot at than carry pipes
That's
upstairs.
right. I'll duck, I'll be careful. Don't
you know,
worry, Pop.
the plumbing job. Obviously, you were an apprentice, but I had an Italian guy come to the house here, right? And I had a problem with the drainage pipe, the sewage pipe, and old man, guy's got to be who knows. He picks up the drain outside in my driveway, and he goes in there with his bare hands, and he's like digging out.
Hey,
Needless to say, he's not getting COVID. That guy.
Hey, I just had a guy. I just had a bathroom built in my house, and the guy who did all the work was 67 years old. And I'm just like, man, I wouldn't want to do the shit you're doing right now. You know, lifting up all kinds of heavy wood and chalkboard and all of that stuff. I'm like, forget about it, man.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
you know what? You got to keep the body moving. And that guy, all his money's probably going towards his grandkids, so he doesn't mind doing it for a minute.
Yeah.
You know,
He's gonna die as soon as he retires. He's gonna die.
and anybody who knows anything that you have kids, and then if you're lucky enough, you have grandkids. You know what happens. It's not work anymore. When it's for somebody else, that's an amazing thing about life. When it's for yourself, it's a big pain in the ass.
Yep.
But when you're doing it for your kids and you're going out there and working that overtime shift, and this one's going to go for them because they got to get, you don't mind it. It doesn't bother you that much.
Yep, exactly. And and the older you get, the more choices you have. If you want to do it, you're not compelled to do it, and so it's nice to have the choice.
You know, Pete, I'm sure you were the same as me. My last, my whatever, 10 years, 9.5 years in homicide, I walked around like a zombie because I was always tired because I worked 400 to 450 hours a year overtime. And I taught at a college part time. And I was the Sergeants Benevolent Association delegate. So I walked around with bloodshot eyes and, all the time but I had to make the money.
Yeah, I did my hundreds of hours in street crime. You know me, Bill.
Oh, yeah. No, I know you did. I was there when you were there.
I know you were there. And
I was like, who's this guy with the gross mutton chops?
anything went. We could wear anything, do anything. It was the best detail.
That's right. It was
But
great.
I made sure I got my overtime. I made sure all the guys got their overtime. They all collared up, and I was the lieutenant's delegate up in street crime for 4 years.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
And your boss and who you work for, but so that wasn't an easy job either.
I had Frank Cush was my sergeant when I was
Frankie,
there.
what a good guy.
He was a great guy. Great guy.
The best. Let me tell you. You know what? I think we lost Frankie's wallet, and I'll tell you the story. So you brought up his name already. I'm pretty sure it was Frankie's. We borrowed a wallet to do one of the decoys. We put the guys out against the wall, and they put the wallet in the pocket, right? And God, it's terrible. And it was in Midtown Manhattan. We were at that night. Somebody came along, snatched the wallet, and the guy got away on us. and it was his old ID in there.
Oh my God! Pete, we were actually
Frankie. I'm pretty sure it was.
We actually got a hold of Mary Glatzel. But she's very old right now. I mean, but for the fans out there, there was a woman who in street crime who was a legend. She was called Muggable Mary.
Yeah.
And she was, when they used to do decoy work, she was mugged like, I don't know, about 1,000 times, right?
Yep. Yes.
And real dangerous decoy work,
Oh,
like for rapists and stuff. She'd go out there,
yep.
and she was a legend. They made a movie about her, right?
Yes. Yep. A movie, Muggable Mary. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. A good girl. Good girl. She's not that much older. I think she's close to my age.
No, I think she's older than you, Pete.
Yeah,
I
just
think
maybe
she's
a little bit.
pushing 90 now.
Couple of years. Yeah, she
Yeah,
used to come
that's
to
more
all
than a couple, Pete.
yeah, maybe. She used to come to the parties, the street crime parties and such, and show up, you know. But her book is great, and her
Yeah.
movie, if you get a chance to pick up that show, and that gives you a little bit of background into street crime, you know, the undercover work and that stuff, you know, shenanigans.
Hey, Tim Acosta, my wife and I both retired from the job. My son wanted to go on, and I told him, no way. He'll graduate next year as a physician's assistant.
Okay.
Well,
All
listen,
right.
it's
Yeah.
a little bump in pay. You go from maybe
Yeah.
50,000, 60,000 to start to 125,000. I don't know
Yeah.
how he's going to make it on that. Marissa Diaz, now I'm retired and watching NYPD on TV almost every day. Gold Coast Girl, hello, Duty Ron, love and respect. I also wanted to, Mike Cologne, MC Audio, author Nascarella would be a great guest for you guys. All right. We'll talk about that later. What else we got here? Drunk, not I am. Going through the academy was an odd experience because we got sat on our hands for 3 months when they made us shut down for COVID back in March, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought about that, but to go through the academy at this point, and I
Yeah.
can't imagine doing it virtually. Like every other
Yeah.
class that you take in college, you could do virtually, but there's a lot of stuff in the academy that it's hands-on. You really got to be there. You got to.
Yeah. You
I
know,
can't imagine what that was like. Going through
yeah.
the academy right now and they shut it down. Now what?
And all these young people out there, I don't know how many of them got COVID themselves. All the
A lot of
cops.
them, yeah.
A lot of them got,
Pete, you know what was a real bad time to come on the job too was right before 9/11 because those kids were they took them out of the academy early and they started working, 12, 14-hour shifts. And I don't even know if they were in a precinct yet. A lot of times, you wanted to stay over at the precinct. There were no beds because everyone wanted to stay over.
yeah,
And it was
yeah,
crazy. I remember Steve Bonanno, God rest his soul, love that guy. He retired as a chief. He was the CO of the 2-3 during 9/11. And people used to go in that were cops that were married to each other. And they would go into him and say, Inspector, we can't do anything. Well, I can't work these shifts. We got kids, blah, 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 blah. He handed them a packet and they opened it up and it said, discontinuance of service. And they were like, I'm not quitting. He goes, then get out of my office. I don't want to hear your problems. Your country was
yeah,
just attacked.
yeah. When I came on I came on April 3rd, 1968, the next day, Martin Luther King got shot. So, and then we ran down, they gave us the guns and this and that and everything else. And we were on the street 2 days after we got appointed,
Wow.
at the police academy. So we had no training. We were lined up on the street in gray uniforms.
Oh,
So we
God.
really had nothing. We were civilians. I was a plumber.
You had the pipe over your shoulder.
Yeah, the skin still never came back on that shoulder when I went for my last medical. He said, "What's that?" I said, "That's worn away from carrying pipe." The doctor looked at me and said, "Ah."
We call him Plumber Pranzo. Anyone
So
out there a plumber?
I was a plumber carrying a gun. I knew how to put pipe together, but I didn't know anything about police work. So we were out for the 12-hour days, 12-hour no days off for like I don't know a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. And then they were worrying about it. Then we went back to the academy for just a few weeks. So we like 3 or 4 weeks, and then we were out like May or June. We were out on the street for the summer. So we virtually had very, very little training. It was just you learn on the fly with the older guys.
Right.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
funny.
But today, there's so much for these kids to learn and everything else, and the new regulations they got in the city. Don't do this, don't do that, and everybody with cameras out there. It's a tough go for the kids. But they're good at it. They should, and my heart goes out to them, and I wish them all the best because to do the job today is hard. You know, it really is. And a lot of
Absolutely.
the old guys will say, "Oh, we would have kicked their ass, or we would have did this." Yeah, we would have been in jail. You know, and if we
Yes, right.
did,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
if we did the things today what we used to do back then, we would never survive.
Well, video cameras are the game changer.
Yes.
That's what changed everything, you know.
Yes. Yeah, they see everything. It's social media. It's all the,
Yep.
all that stuff. And so it's a difficult job. But you know what it is? It's a job. And that's all I thought about it. You know, yeah, you want to be helpful. You want to help the public. You want to work. You want to work with the community, which we did.
Right.
And it's all good. But it's a job. You know, you get paid. You fed your family. You had a house, the white picket fence. You had the pool, 2 cars. So it was good. And that's the basic thing. Your family first. You know.
You,
Absolutely.
you know what the problem though is that you're in the middle of your work and you're doing everything that you can for the city. And then a situation happens in this modern age where, okay, we have to slow things down. We can't do what we were doing because we have to babysit this protest that's eventually going to turn into a riot. And at some point, you realize it's not the people from the community that are doing the biggest disruption. They're not the ones who are breaking into the stores for sneakers and doing all this crazy stuff. Or at least they're not the ones who are breaking the windows initially. Those people are coming from out of state. So that's the problem with policing nowadays is that you're in the middle of, being the best cop you can be. And then all of a sudden you're up against elements that, they don't care how good you are as a person. They don't care how much you're helping the community. They're not even from here. I'm here for one purpose. That's to upset and destroy whatever I come into contact with. And then I'll be moving on tomorrow because I have another state to go through to do the same exact thing. And
Yep.
that's the difference between now and then.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out to Richard Garcia for a $5 super chat. Also, Bill Ryan from Ryan Investigation, $5 super chat. And I just wanted to, someone wrote, I've been going on Duty Run's show a lot about the Orrin and Orson West case. And DDH Christine, C6 Mom, I'm not biased on the Orrin and Orson West case. I'm using my experience to make a judgment call. And what I feel happened is that the parents are lying about everything. And I don't think the kids ever made it to California City House because there's video around there. The kids were never seen there. They asked neighbors, they asked the postman, they asked all kinds of people. So I'm not being biased about my opinion. By working hundreds and thousands of investigations, I'm giving you my educated opinion on what I think occurred. And unfortunately, I don't think the kids are alive. And I could be wrong, but they've been missing now for over 40 days.
Yeah.
And the behavior of the parents, their body language when they went on TV, they're hiding something. They're not telling the truth. That is the basis, in a nutshell, of my opinion. I just wanted to straighten that out.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize is that, when you're doing commentary like this, you're acting basically as an analyst. You're not Monday morning quarterback. You're just giving your professional opinion from investigating a lot of homicides, and when we see cases, like, for example, this case has intrigued me. It just came out. There's a missing West Virginia woman found dead in a Walmart parking lot. She was in the back of her vehicle, which was a 2018 Ford Escape. So that's something that interests me as a former investigator, and I'm sure Bill and you too, Peter. So, I'll be following this case along, and who knows, maybe Bill and I, could jump on it and follow this case along as the investigation builds up, and just give, our audience just an inside look to the way the investigators are thinking and why the case is going in those directions. So you can't take it personally. It's just one of those things where, you just got a hunch, you have a feeling, you're looking at the evidence that's collected by other investigators, and you're making an analysis. That's it. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, well, it's called deductive reasoning, and you take
Yeah.
certain things that lead you to a conclusion. And of course, myself and Duty Ron and other people that he's had on the show, we are not privy to all the information that the detectives and the investigators have. But based on what we've been allowed to see, we've made certain judgments. And we're not calling saying, oh, yeah, look, they are definitely, the parents are definitely the persons of interest. And that's why they lawyered up, because they started to feel the heat. But they are definitely the people that probably in the next few weeks are going to wind up getting arrested. So, you know, that's our.
I'm along the same line of thinking when I was reading about it, and you're doing a good job, Bill, with that, and Duty Ron and Mark as well.
No,
And the guest you've had on is terrific, because you're opening up a whole social media world where that people can contact you guys. They could contact. I know Duty Ron takes all the tips coming into him as well. Uh, you know it's going to be solved by somebody from the public, probably from social media. So whatever it
Absolutely.
is,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the way it's going to. It's not going to be. It might never be a clear cut thing. My point was that either they sold them, the kids, they were cute kids. They could have given them away, sold the kids, or killed them. Unfortunately, and it's a very sad situation. It's just that when police work, law enforcement, these things over and over again. You got to go with what has happened so many times before. And when you have missing kids that young and the parents claiming up on it and disappearing and no lie, I don't think they took the lie detector test. That's the first thing, Bill.
Right.
Come on, we should do that with the regular collars. All the collars we took in. They said, look, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Okay, bring in the lie detector test. And the guy says, I'm not taking that.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Exactly.
That's it. Oh, it's him. It's guilty. It's him.
You bring up a really interesting point and how social media plays into these investigations and people sitting at home and getting involved. And, I have a joke I do in my act about, like my girl solving 3 crimes at the same time. She's got her laptop open. She's watching Dateline on TV. She's got, and she's on the phone too. She's a great investigator. And, but if in regards to the case that I mentioned, and maybe Bill and I will be updating you on this missing West Virginia woman found dead in Walmart parking lot. If you have any information on this, here's the number to call. It's in Morgantown Police Department at 304-284-7522, extension 0. And that's the beauty of social media. I read this story on Fox News. It caught my interest. I'm curious about it, and I'm sure that any leads, any information can help. So if you're listening right now and you know anything, give that number a call. Let's.
That's why these things are coming to light today, because years back, you never had the social media. So first of all, you never knew what was going on. You could never have on the world news tonight all the missing kids and all the murders around the country, all these kinds of things, like you said in Virginia, or the kids in California, the 2 little kids. This stuff nobody would know about it. But today with social media, all these different outlets, everybody knows about everything. So they're not watching regular TV programs anymore. They're watching these kinds of shows. Your show, Duty Ron show. They're watching the shows and they're learning. I'm telling you, these people who watch your show, I'm just shocked that they know so much. They're so savvy of to what's going on.
Well, Pete, you know how many shows there are on the Gilgo case? There's a show on everyone's an expert on the Gilgo murders.
Yeah.
They call it the L.I. Lisk, Long Island serial killer.
Yeah.
And so many people, I had someone that has a show question my and Barbara Butcher's credentials. I was almost like, please, let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. All right.
Yeah,
you're doing a show based on watching TV, and you're questioning a 27-year homicide sergeant and the chief of the OCME, Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. She was the acting chief there, and they're questioning her. What she said wasn't true. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I'll go with what you know. You know.
Hey, we had people that joined on late, so I just want to let them in on the big news. Bill and I have we have our first sponsor, and so listen up, guys. We are sponsored by the best hot sauce in the world. Silk City hot sauce is made in small batches with pure ingredients. Locally grown peppers are the foundation of every bottle of Silk City hot sauce. There are several flavors from mild to wild. You got to see the labels. Each sauce has awesome original artwork, and just to display, this is the killer hot. Just so you get that, the artwork on it is pretty cool, man. And this is Slurp. Look at the artwork on that. They also have check out Bob's Bigs Chipotle, Aztec Attack, Badass Jew, which I'm betting is the best one of the whole bunch because Jews know how to eat. Climate Change, Maple Dragon, Killer Hot, and Ghost Whisper. Go to Silk City Hot Sauce, Silk City Hot Sauce, oneword.com, and you'll get a 15% discount if you put in OTC. That's your promo code, OTC. And guess what? You'll also get a free bottle of cherry sriracha. If you're interested in advertising with us, we're taking all comers, no matter what you got, just as long as it's legal. Please email us at OTCPOD, off the cuff, OTCpod1, gmail.com. And Bill, you want to give a shout out to some of the people that?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of great people on our channel now, mostly due to Duty Ron, Dawn Marie, OG Boswell, David Herbsman, Erin Sandlin, of course, Duty Ron, MC Audio, that's Mike Colon, who's a great broadcaster in his own right, DDH Christine, C6 Mom, Mary Martins, Erin Sandler, David Herbsman again. Too many people almost that I can call out, but of course, Bill Ryan and all you people that are giving us these super chats. I just wanted to make one other announcement. Tomorrow night, I have on Real Crime Stories. I have a fantastic guest, and her name is Nancy Rommelman, and she's a writer, and she actually interviewed John Wayne Gacy while he was on death row, and she went to visit him. It was in 1994. She also has a best-selling book called To the Bridge, and it's about a mother who threw both her kids off a bridge in Oregon, and one of them died and one of them lived. The most interesting thing that she's done recently and wrote about it for a magazine is she went undercover with Antifa in Portland for 5 months, and she's going to tell that tale.
Wow.
So she's going to be on my show tomorrow night, but she's also going to be on Duty Ron's show Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. So tomorrow at 7, I'll get her warmed up, and Duty Ron will interview her again at 10 o'clock on Wednesday night. And that's Nancy Rommelman. You can Google her, nancyrommelman.com, and see what she's up to. She's written several books. Thursday night on Police Off the Cuff with Mark and I, we have a retired NYPD sergeant, 22-year veteran, and one of the best actors now, another great actor, Michael Devine. And he's, Mark, tell him what some of his credits are.
Well,
oh, I put you on the spot. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Yeah, no, that's a great show. You know, every TV show that you can imagine, he's been on.
Law and Order. He's been on Blue Bloods. He's been on all the police shows, but he's also was just on that HBO show with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant. I forget the name of it right now.
Hold on one second. I'll tell it to you. It's Uprising or something like that.
It could be, but I should have wrote it down, but I didn't.
Freak. Yeah, that was a good one that you did there, right there.
Yeah, I caught you. I caught you with your pants down, as they say. Now. You know.
It's called The Undoing.
The Undoing, right? Exactly.
It's a mini series, and it's very, very popular. And Nicole Kidman's in it.
But if you look at his IMDb page,
Yeah.
which actually Peter Pranzo has an IMDb
what-
page too, but he's got like 2 or 3 pages, just like Joe Lisi did. You know,
Yeah,
they got
I have
so
an
many
IMDb
credits.
page. I got like maybe 16 to 20 credits. This guy's got, it seems like 100. One of the big ones is Wolf of Wall Street. That was
That's right. Yeah.
one of his and Blue Bloods. He's a regular on that. He's been on a bunch of stuff. The point is that he's a much better, he's much more progress actor than neither one of us are. We put all 3 of our
I
credits.
just have The Perfect Murder. I did 6 episodes. That's about the end of my acting career. You know, that was my big debut playing
I was
playing
surprised.
myself a couple of times, but playing a detective.
Yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised when I looked at mine, and it was like, more than 12. It was probably like 16. And then you take it into account. Like, all right, well, things aren't that bad, I guess.
Tim Acosta, thank you so much for that $10 super chat. We're getting rich here doing this show with Peter, and we're having fun with Peter Pranzo. You know, one night we have to have Richella on with you. We'll have the husband and wife.
There
We'll
you
give
go.
her her own square too, Pete.
Yeah, she'll have her own square. You hear that, Rochelle? She's downstairs. They want to give you your own square.
It's like Hollywood Squares, this show.
That's right.
The beauty of it is that like that kind of a marriage like that is people are still getting married, which baffles me. And they're getting married during the corona. It's like, dude, if you could have one excuse to get out of a wedding, like it's like, I want to marry you. I love you. But we're in the middle of a pandemic. I can't give you the wedding you deserve. You deserve why don't we just wait? Like,
Let's call it off.
There's people still getting married right now, and all they really want to do is achieve what you have. Like, as long as there's a couple of couples that we can strive for, we can. You know what? That's our goal. You know what I'm saying?
Hang on. Yeah, come over. Just say
Come
hello.
on over, Richella.
Say hello. Come on. Here's
You guys have been married how long?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Richella. How long have you guys been married? 50?
52 years, I think, this year. 52.
Wow.
It's Rochella's birthday tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, come on. that's
Wow.
okay.
It's her birthday.
Still
Groundhog
beautiful after
Day.
all those years, right?
Yeah. It's okay.
And being a
It's
cop's
okay.
wife is you take a beating, right? No, I don't mean
Yes.
physically, but it's a
No.
tough thing mentally.
No, if it was physically, I wouldn't be here. No.
That's right.
We're the same age tomorrow.
Yeah,
Wow.
For a little while.
For
Same age.
a couple of months. Yeah,
For 6 months.
You guys look
Yeah, I had
fantastic,
told you.
man.
When you were talking about how we write together and what have you, I said, I wrote in the little chat, that's a topic for another whole episode.
That's right.
So, but
That's
we made
great.
it. But it's always good to see you guys. I always listen to you. Enjoy. Have a good night.
Thanks, Richella.
Thank you
Good
so
to see you. 52 years, Pete. That's
52
amazing.
years. God. Yeah. Yeah,
Did
sit
you
down.
put in an overtime slip for her too when you worked all it?
Oh, God, man. That OT slip, I was good at that,
That's right.
All
That's
my
right.
guys, the first thing, we get the food because we eat on overtime, like you know, right? So we made sure we ate good. After all the arrests, everybody was in the cell area, and we made sure everybody was fed. They were watered. They got all their soda and all this shit. And then we would send out for our food, and then we would munch. We eat, relax. and
Munch, I love
then
it.
we would fill out the overtime slip. Fill them all out ahead of time. What time you go? Okay, that's all set. The slips are all made out. Who got medals? All right, let's write that up. This is good. You got 3 guns, 2 guns, 1 gun. We'd write it up so it's fresh in your mind, And the guys got medals. It was all good. We had a lot of fun. Crazy, but fun.
Duty Ron, thank you so much for that $20 super chat. You're the man. Thank you. And Tim Acosta for the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
I was looking at a picture somebody posted on social media, and it was them in narcotics, and it looked like they were in an office, or there was some light, so they might have been in a garage somewhere, some narcotic setup where all the guys, and you could see they just got bagels. One guy's got a bagel, the other guy's by the table making, and it's just, nobody's really posing for the picture, but I knew exactly where they were in their state of mind. Like, as a unit, as a group of people, having the breakfast together, the bagels all together, that's something that you can never people will never understand, like before a big operation where you're getting your coffee and you get your bagel and then we're going to go hit this location.
Yes, it's camaraderie. It's like a ritual, right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's really like
It's
a ritual that, togetherness of almost like a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just couldn't let my guys when they had the narcotics team, they were all tough guys, big like you guys and tough and they could run. And I would never let them eat that much because if they ate, they couldn't run.
They couldn't run.
So get your
Pete, I,
coffee.
I always believed in, I don't chase anyone unless I chase them with a Chevy.
But no, these guys, I had in that team there, I had 4 black cops, and they could shoot, hit, run, catch anybody. And then I had 4 white guys who were just about almost as fast. But I said, no, boss, I'm starving. Have a cup of coffee. We'll eat. I promise you, we'll go to the Bronx and we'll send them for a food run in the Bronx, the deli, and they send all the antibiotics and all the food back. But I says, okay, now, and they appreciated that. I said, come on, let's all collar up. Let's get this done so we could eat,
Yeah, what's funny about chasing people and people, everybody runs. I remember going up to one time, we were looking for a guy on a warrant and we see the guy matches the script. He's on a phone. He's on a pay phone. And he was really heavy. I mean, the guy was probably 200 pounds overweight. He was obese. He was really, really fat. So we go up to him. It's just me and my partner. My partner's like kind of sort of on the side of the phone booth. We're being nice. And I'm like, hey, buddy, hey, I show him my shield. What's your name? And he goes, oh, my name is so. And he puts the phone down and then he takes off. And he was so fat and he was so slow. I looked at my partner. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now? So then he's running full speed and I'm like walking and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Where are you going? You're never gonna. It was so funny, like how slow he was, and he thought he was gonna get away. I was running backwards, basically, and telling him, "Okay, enough is enough. Calm down."
My last 2 weeks on the job, I went to the 2-3 because I had worked there for years in the squad, and I said to 2 guys, Detective Freitag, who's now on homicide, and Detective Pat, who's been on our show a lot. So let's go ride around. Like, let's do a little anti-crime work in our suits. We didn't expect to get anything. It's like going fishing. We didn't expect to catch any fish. So we're riding around. We hear a blood-curdling scream. This woman is screaming, and we look, and her husband's getting the shit beat out of him. He's getting robbed. So we go up the street, and Freitag gets out, and the guy runs into the side street. We didn't even hesitate. Detective Pat just hit the gas, went 100 yards past the guy. We got out, pulled up our ties. The guy's booking to us. He runs 10 feet away, pull our guns. Police! He's like, oh, shit. Now he's all winded. We're fresh as a daisy. Slapped the cuffs on him, and we gave the arrest to patrol. The young cop was like, how'd you guys get that? He never saw an observation robbery arrest in his young career.
That's right.
He probably wrote it up too. He left out the other part.
You never get out of the car too early.
That's right. That's right.
Don't jump out too early.
The car is
you're done.
The car is your friend.
That's correct.
Yeah, the car is your friend. All right, so here we are, man. We're at an hour 15. So you plugging anything? You working on a new book there?
Just working on Harlem Raiders. We have a few things going on. I was explaining to Bill before we got on the air. I can't mention any names, any show companies, movie companies and such. But there's a company now that is looking to do a documentary about the team, the narcotics team, the Raiders, the Harlem Raiders.
So Martin Scorsese's on? Is that what
you're At least. I mean, this is going to be big.
Maybe you're going to be Pete 2 times. Hey, can I have some meatballs? Hey, can I have some meatballs? You saw that in Goodfellas, right?
We have no contract. I have a contract with my entertainment company that who sponsors me. But as far as this, I can't mention the name right now because there's no contract with these people. But the virus, like Mark, you had a big job coming up for yourself, an acting job. It put everything on hold. But the film company, a documentary company, is one of the biggest in America. And they love the team, the diversity of the team, the black, the white cops, the black community leader, and what we accomplished and such. So it's based on the Harlem Raiders. We're keeping our fingers crossed that comes this year. If this friggin' pandemic.
My fingers are crossed too, my friend.
Yeah, I told him I got guys. I got
That's
a guy,
right,
Mark
man. He's gonna get us some. He's gonna
I
get us
got
some
Mark
work,
DeMeo,
Mark.
I got Phil
Oh,
Cannon,
yeah?
I got
Listen,
Joe Lisi.
gotta-
I got guys. I got the
You
Burns
need a
family. I got
mob
all that.
boss? I'm your guy.
Oh, ready to go. Yeah.
You know,
It's
Pete, I
nice
just
to-
want to say you're one of the nicest guys in the
Ah,
2
thank you,
years
guys.
that we've been doing this. You're one of the nicest guys we met
Oh,
Yeah, I
as a
mean,
guest. Really, you're salt of the earth. Great, great man.
you
Thank
know,
you.
a lot of
Thank you.
people were saying that they admire on the chat. They would admire how, regardless of how much I busted your chops, but the recruits and people taking the job and stuff like that, that you stuck to it, man. And you believe it's an admirable
is.
job. I do. I'm just saying
I know.
you
It's
need
just-
to get your
yeah.
head checked if you're going to take the job right now.
You know, Mark, so Duty Ron asked us to go over our Patreon, the tiers.
But yeah. Don't forget to do.
So we have a Patreon, www.patreon.com/police off the cuff. The first level for $7 a month is called the bucket, because that's what you belong in, a bucket, if you only spend $7 a month to see us. The second tier for $9 a month is called Polish My Rack, and you actually get to see my rack and you can polish it. And the third one, $11 a month, and Pete's holding it up there, dipped in butter. And that's, you want to dip them in butter, and that's for sure. And that's $11 a month. So join up and get them dipped in butter. You can dip whatever you want in butter. I'm not telling you what to dip.
And also, too, if you want some really, really great hot sauce, don't forget about SilkCityHotSauce.com. That's our new sponsor, Silk City Hot Sauce. Put your promo code in OTC and get a 15% discount plus a free bottle of cherry sriracha. They have great flavors. It's all natural stuff, and it's delicious. Anything else, Bill?
I think that's about it, man. I hate to say goodbye to Pete. We got to, have him on again once his book gets picked up for a movie.
Hey,
Yeah, Pete, you're always welcome, by the way.
it's getting near my bedtime now.
Yeah.
Hey, Pete, was that an orderly I saw walking behind? He's going to grab you. It's medication time. They got to medicate him before he goes to bed.
Hey guys, it's been an honor again and a privilege. I appreciate you having me on and all the plugs and everything else. You guys are the best. You're doing terrific. The show is great. It's off the charts, and you're doing a good deed for law enforcement and for helping out the children, the missing kids, and the cases that are still going on.
Thanks,
So,
Pete.
on behalf of Rochelle and myself, thank you very much.
You're always welcome on, Pete. We love having you. We'll plug whatever you need. Once Scorsese bites, let us know. Start plugging.
You got it. You got it.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys. Love you. Bye.
Take care, man.
Thank you.